Everyone, welcome to my Portland Marathon tour. We're going to take a look at some of the highlights that are along the Portland Marathon route and just get to view some of the gorgeous scenery in our city here. So let's get to the starting point to start off our tour. Alright, so here we are on Street View, and we are located downtown at the corner of 4th and Taylor, and this is the view you would have as you cross the starting line, which usually sits somewhere across this crosswalk. And you can see the walkway up ahead here where people usually gather to take photos and watch the runners go by below. It's usually pretty dark since the runners start going around 7 o'clock in the morning, so it's a little difficult to see at that time of year, but lots of stuff going on and lots of things to take in. Alright, so let's backtrack here to what I call the furthest point out, and once you get here you actually end up cutting back towards the city via Nadeau Parkway here. And I like to highlight this point because you're running down a major road with what usually is lots of traffic, and people usually congregate here since they aren't usually allowed to do so, and they cheer on the runners, and it's a lot of fun. So let me exit Street View here and kind of show you where we are on the map. So here we are zooming out of downtown. There's the waterfront, and we are south of downtown. So alright, so let's go back towards our running route here. So the Hawthorne Bridge is one of many bridges that you'll run by during this marathon, and there are quite a few. Let's see if I can get the 3D buildings that come up. Here we go. So here is the Hawthorne Bridge, one of the many bridges you'll run by. You don't actually run over this bridge, but you do run by it. So bridge was built in 1910. It's 73 feet wide. It's roughly 50 feet above the water, and yeah, it's just a gorgeous steel bridge here that you can take a look at. Alright, so let's get back on our route here on Nadeau Parkway and keep going. So you'll see as we kind of zoom in here, you run along the waterfront to the point that I like to call the turnaround point. And that is probably the longest portion of the run, solely because it's just a straight line, and the amount of runners that you're running with kind of make it hard to see all the scenery around there. But you do end up at the Lakeside construction plant, and you can you turn around here by this parking lot entrance, and you end up heading back towards the way you came, which is back this way as we're facing. So at this point you're about about 9 miles in, and let's head to our next point, which I like to call the separating point. So you can see as Google Maps takes us into, or Google Earth rather, takes us to the separating point. We've got our image that we will overlay here. You can see as I zoom out, or I'm sorry, make that opaque or not. This is the point here where we're about 11 miles in, and the half marathoners will keep running that route, they'll head back downtown, and then the marathoners will keep going along the route. So 11 miles in or so, and this is where the stuff starts to get a little bit more fun, because you've got that long leg that we just spoke about out of the way. So let's zoom out here real quick and kind of see where we are at things with our map. Get a bigger picture view, and we'll take a look. So here's the separating point where the half marathoners are going to come back down this leg, this blue line, back into downtown, and the marathoners will keep running along this orange line. So let's make that less opaque, and we'll keep going on to our next stop, which is my favorite part of the entire run, and that is the St. John's Bridge. So the St. John's Bridge was constructed in 1929. It's 2,067 feet in total length. It's got a 408 feet. It's 408 feet tall, excuse me, and it is by far what I think the most gorgeous bridge that Portland has to boast about. Lots of stuff to see here as we kind of zoom in and play with a few more of the features of it. So let's actually take a moment and walk across. Alright, so here's the bridge, and we would be running rather down here, and after that we've got about 10 miles to go on our map here. So you'll notice we take this route kind of along the waterfront here. You can follow my mouse, and you get this really nice sweeping view across the water, and you have one of the most gorgeous campuses that I've ever seen personally, and that is University of Portland. So let's take a look at it while we're here. So my favorite building is this one right here, and it is the Pamplin School of Business. Right, and as you can see here, as we kind of do a little loop around, just a gorgeous campus, and lots of just really unique buildings full of great architecture. So there's a little tour of the University of Portland campus, and now let's head back a few more miles down on our route, and we'll go to the Broadway Bridge. So this is the last bridge that you will run across, and it is a great steel truss bridge, gorgeous architecture to it. So as we come back into town, we run along 3rd Street, and we end up at the finish line. So let's zoom in to see where that takes us. And we get to this intersection here of 3rd Avenue at the Justice Center. Another gorgeous building, lots of glasswork and cement work, just really, really pretty place. And you can see here some of the banners for the Portland Marathon. So that does it for our Portland Marathon tour. Thanks for coming along.